Good Monday morning and welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new around here, I do uploads every single day and I try to aim for around 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, so you can always check back and find some new content daily. Now, today we're going to be doing something that I was working on a little bit before the patch. I didn't even know Cirrus was going to be a new card, Cirrus Fearless, but I came out with a deck called Totally Berserk, and that was my most viewed video that I've ever posted. It was like crazy. We're into the 6,000s of views and I was blown away by it. You guys liked the deck, but I wanted to make some tweaks and basically try and make it 9.6 friendly. So I changed a couple cards, took out Dire Bear, I put in, still my control tools, and I still have some really good consistency with it, but we took out the other Cirrus because I found that it was just bricking too much and I put in a Decree instead. So let's get into the gameplay here. First one, we have Jackpot, Syndicate, and I'm really excited. I like these veterans. I just find that it's really, really strong with the combination of Melusine. And of course the combination of Iteran as well. We have the Megascopes to make copies of it. You guys saw that with the Iteran. It's pretty wild. Iteran plays a really good part into Cirrus Fearless as well, because when we're spawning 1 power tokens off, let's say our leader, or the Bear Witcher, or whatever we grab off location, and we have the extra token from the Herald, there's like a lot of really good reasons there. But if we're struggling to find targets to heal with Cirrus, then we have really good options with the ones that we spawn off those things. So it makes a big difference there. And you can see we got really easy round control here. We established a bit of carryover with Melusine. Now it's unfortunate we didn't really get our Thins out here, but we can always save that going into round 2, and we can actually bleed with Thins, which is pretty cool. If you guys have an espresso machine, you got to try this one. It's like a yellow gold color. It's called Melozio. I'm telling you, that is like, that's proper. It's like it has flavor. Like, I drink it black, but it's not like too strong. So if you're just looking for something like nice and rich, but not like overkill, then that's the one.
Perhaps a different ingredient. An active one.
And so, Decree, like I said, instead of regular Cirrus, I think that play was pretty good, because if we miss cards like the Fuchsia, we're in trouble. If I miss my Blue Boy when I need it, I'm in trouble. If I miss my Wildkarl, right? There's a lot of cards that I want at specific times. Now, I'm okay with Decree because I don't think like missing Kadoosh or missing a Gutting Slash, for example, is going to be like a lose condition necessarily. And in this event, I'm willing to just try and draw into my specials. It's just really the units that I'm thinking that we really got to get in this match,
You got a sea-based swimming in them,
or with this deck rather. But you see how we can just apply some pressure here, and Quartermaster is actually like a really efficient way to just ping off the Blue Boy. You see what I mean? Cirrus comes out here, perfect bleeding tool, and then we can go ahead and just like look, heal it and just dish it into a token. It's beautiful. And I'm actually thinking about going all in here, even though Iteran's not out. It's just like, if I can remove everything on the board, then we have a perfect pass. Like, really good opportunity for a pass. There's consideration to see it all the way through, but I like the tempo that we have here. 45 points on the board in like the matter of 2 turns. It's pretty wild.
I've no mercy for your kind.
And that play kind of puts them in a situation where they don't have a lot of coin left. I don't mind that too much at all. Let's see the points. right? They have to get the coin. They have to go and get the Savola out there. It's going to take at least 2 cards.
The time for the age of the Woven Storm is nigh.
Now, this deck does particularly well against decks that are going to be boosting and decks that are not going to really interact with what we're doing a whole lot. But direct damage is a little bit difficult. We do alright in the Milva matchup because there's a lot of like little pings going around. But I find the Skellige, Blaze of Glory, the Skellige Onslaught matchups are very bad. And if you're running into a lot of those, this is going to be a really hard time for you. Nilfgaard's also pretty bad, because if they can get a hold of the Adaran, then, you know, they have the means of really getting a lot of points off that, so take that in consideration as well. But into the monster matchup, into Syndicate, it feels pretty comfortable. Into most forms of Scoia'tael. Vampires, I wouldn't say it would be too bad either, considering they're kind of helping out. Look at this, we got... I'm content with that, right? I'm content with that. They spend down all the way, and they just get ahead by 1. So now they don't have that coin carryover. We have a 2 card advantage going into round 3. Now, I have the ability to bring back that Melusine worth 13 points. That'll sort of offset the whole play with the Savola Frightener, right? Now, top decking into a Heatwave is pretty nice. We can just delete their Frightener. We have some self-wound here for the Adaran. It's not bad.
Lots of prior experience. Worked with idiots my whole life.
And we want to get out of Adaran first so that we can get the extra token off the Herald. And then we can just start maybe putting the priests on the melee row and just taking out those tokens. Sure enough, no luck here.
If the ring won't come off, just take the whole finger.
It's looking like a nicer Heatwave target for sure if we can get that. I think it's still necessary to stick to the script here and basically start removing some of those tokens. And then after this, we could put down the Savola. Now, I put down the Melusine first because we have to kind of get that Wildkarl ping down before it gets removed. So if I put the Wildkarl to, let's say, the left or right side of the Melusine, then we have the ability to, you know, use the second ping per turn off the Herald until we get that down to 2 and it flips. They should have spent another one there. They would have had extra points, but that just doesn't do it. It's too deep down in the deck, and that's too bad for them. But I think it would have just been a really easy win at that point anyways. We would have had a heat wave and tons of points that we were just working on. So moving on to the second game here, we got Inspired Zeal. This one's going to be a Northern Realms matchup. And you never want to have Cirrus Fearless in hand. This is actually a really cool round 1 because we have everything we want except for the Adaran to get like just tons of really inexpensive points. So obviously the invaders with the veterans with the megascopes, there we go. And the Adaran's going to be like tons and tons of points. It's enough to win a round by itself, I believe. Now, I have to decide here if I'm going to go and pull Melusine from deck, or if I want to go and pull a Darn from deck. So we'll just see if we can get these to stick first.
I give them 2 days before they cower and retreat. Ship ahoy!
Ever since Rafford's was 10 provision, I don't necessarily feel too threatened by this matchup if they're playing just like the dual version of Inspired Zeal. Like if they're playing, or even Siege in this case. I find like, you know, you use a Hensel just to get out the Raffords, it's okay, you know what I mean? So a Darn in this case, just because we have the other Megascope. And it sucks that we have both of our discard cards, but we don't have any of our discard units.
Temeria has yet to speak its last.
Of course. Of course, they all have to hit him, right?
I can do a great deal more.
Let's see if we can just funnel out the deck here. I'm starting to think about maybe discarding that second Megascope, but we'll have to decide here. Svalbard is probably a bit slower. Because we could still crown down Melusine here and try to get some good points. Okay, we're blessed with that one. So, went ahead, they did the damage off of the veteran. It gives us a little bit of headroom here to try and establish the Melusine. And fortunately, we get the pass on that. I'm okay with Melusine here just going up to 11, because we can always bring that back later for a little bit of carryover. So the counter is 5. We just have a little bit of work to do here to get Cirrus on the board, but once we play Lugos, we should just be fine. And just so you know, 2 of the units that we could spawn off location are basically self-wounding, right? It's another reason why I like to have that card in here, because the Bear Witcher and the Adept, they both do that. So between those, you know, and the Cultist in hand, and just when we're hitting our Bear Witcher or stuff with the Herald, like, these are how we're going to be getting our Cirrus on the board. And now we can just abuse the coin. They're playing engines one at a time, trying to establish patience. I'm going to really take advantage of this here. So Blue Boy with 2 pings takes out Adept, or Student. And I gotta say, I'm really happy to be on this side of the coin. After the last few daunting months of that meta, I like to see these off-meta decks like the one I'm playing right now just really crushing stuff like this. Feels good. So there is some consideration to take the location for a Bear Witcher here. Or just take that, that's fine.
Go ahead, stare at the stump again, see what happens.
The windmill. Its sticks spin around and
I actually think I went ahead and took... Would have been... To be fair, I suppose that was fine. Bear Witcher would have been fine too. But more targets to just kill off with Cirrus though. And we see Siege come down here and we're up by like 30 odd points. You know what? Just Heatwave it. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Now,
Yield and
I like
safety
that. That's pretty
supply.
satisfying to me. Moving on to the third game of the day, we have Scoia'tael Guerilla Tactics. Now I can just see here in my project that this game's a little bit longer than the last two, so I'm guessing that we're actually going to see a full game here.
Mayhap you'll go get Arcania's marvels too one day.
So the issue here is that we don't have Melusine, we don't have Adarin, and we don't have a way to access either of them.
Seen it all already, and then some.
Now in this event, I'm trying to play around making a bomb.
First, you must learn to fly.
And we have room while they're trying to figure out like what they're doing, and we're trying to figure out what we're doing just to remove that. If they go ahead and click Pyrotech, they heal one of our units, so it makes it a little bit more frustrating, maybe changes their sequencing. Sure enough, we get a trap there. I'm thinking that at this point, it's an incinerating trap, so if I go ahead and play something like Megascope, we should just be fine. And no need to just take our discard yet. We have a pretty good amount of room to get out of the round, and sure enough, we just get out of the round here.
Stars are all the trophies.
I would have taken the discard next turn. We did our 100th video yesterday, guys. This is crazy. This is video 101. And Burna actually comes down perfectly. Okay. Those are good draws. Morgvarg, Skirmisher, go. You know the drill.
Nothing like some overseas
15 points. We can decide here if we're looking to just really crank out tempo and see if we can get some big commitments, or if we're trying to pass on that. Now, I have access to Blue Boy, do I not? Yes, I do. Let's go for the snipe here.
for the clan.
So, you play this deck a little like Lippy, but you don't flip the deck. Basically, you're just abusing. I think we actually take... If not now, next turn, we take that. I want to remove that, I think. I just wish there was a better way. Because we don't want to put ourselves in a situation where the Vilcarl doesn't work. Milver from hand is unfortunate. That's one of the risks that you run by playing the card. So what if I put Melusine here and just use, yeah, one ping. There. And 20-0 in 2 cards. Whoa. Now, I'm playing location because I don't intend on clicking. So, I'm just dumping it on range row because I'm looking to just probably pass after this turn. And I don't really care too much. I want it on range row because if they're playing Gezras in round 3, for example, at least I'm playing around that a little bit if I'm stacking back row. A little more so. Because 15 points in 1 turn shouldn't be too bad. And because they didn't play a unit, we still have the opportunity to assess and maybe just put something down. It's hard to say because it's a little bit slow. The longer we take here, then the more opportunity they have to come back. And realistically, 11 could possibly provoke 2 cards. But if we can get a perfect discard here, that would be pretty nice.
Let's not get in the way of the axe.
And we'll just play on the back in case. And that's a perfect pass right here. So whether it's... That looks like a crushing trap to me. I don't remember if I actually took the pass. Okay, good. Good. If I played at that point, I'd be like, man, what am I doing? Just pass, man. So I want to get... realistically, a goal of mine here in this case is to get 2 cards. I want to see 2 cards or 1 card leader. Respect for calculating that, that's nice. So, bear in mind they did heatwave the Melusine, so we're not going to be able to take that back. And... Megascope's a little scary here just because it's very slow. In this case, the bronzes are just not really what we're doing. We're looking to do. So, like, at this point, it's like a little RNG. Like, I have to just guess what it is. I'm thinking Incinerating Trap. And I'm thinking that maybe we don't need this card, you know, but Hidarin could be healed. Okay, so it's probably Serpent. Serpent or Horn. Or another crushing. This is a fun game.
Poor these they who have no knowledge.
So hopefully we get some good value on the Cirrus here. It's hard to say at this point. We can heal the cultist and basically put the damage onto a token when the time's right. A couple things I'm concerned about. One is obviously we don't necessarily want to play that Gutting Slash because the Serpent Trap's going to eat us alive. I also want to be timing my Wildkarl play because I want to get some hits off of it if they're going to be playing something like the Pitfall. Like, I want the Pitfall to help flip it. We don't want to take the Pitfall off of the Fukusha. That would just be really bad. So that's probably Serpent Trap, right? The one that's not flipping. And then I would imagine that they probably think we're going to be playing the Fukusha second to last-ish. I think it's time to just give this a try and see. Incinerating Trap, we lose it. That's perfect. Obviously, we don't get the damage that we're looking for, but it's fine. And we can just go ahead and flip that. Finally, we got some points back. I was getting kind of nervous for a sec. Because now I look at it like, okay, I don't think Eldane's enough necessarily. Serpent Trap's going to play for 1 point because we're probably going to have to discard the Gutting Slash. And so we'll go ahead and do that. We know they played Hitori last round, so we don't have to worry about another Pitfall Trap, which is great. Yeah, just go ahead and bin that. That puts them at 18 points. And so we just play anything, we win here, right?
Sacrifices must be made on both sides. I can do a great deal more for you.
And just showing you guys for optimal points is how we do it there. It was a little bit of a frustrating game, but we got it done. Moving on to Overwhelming Hunger. Got a Death Wish deck. We got to be careful about this one here. Because our control stuff, like the Blue Boy with the Gutting Slashes and all that type of stuff, that's actually sometimes beneficial for them too. So we have to make sure we try and do this when they have like lots of consume engines on the board, but not lots of Death Wish units.
Mayhap you'll go against Arcania's marvels too one day.
And fortunately, this is just working out pretty well. Right now, we're not playing into a Mana Core too well. We're not playing into a Maruna at all, unless we put down the Melusine next. Hopefully they're not running Heat Wave or they don't have it, so we can go ahead and just get that Melusine super tall, bring it back later on. This is a really good example. I wanted to show you guys this perfect play that I like. And then it's as simple as that, just like literally putting down Megascopes after this and taking discards, and that should just be round. Now, a lot of time they see Melusine, if they can't remove it, they try and pass on us. So I'm keeping that in mind as well, but we take the discards here because I want to see if I can find... There, Fukusha's good. Seeing Fukusha in hand tells me that I could potentially basically decree for a Darin if I have to. So just go ahead and toss that and watch them heal. Perfect. That's going to be too many points, I think, for them to keep playing. Sure enough, I'm wrong. Okay. They got tempo. Looking back, I don't think that warrants a pass. I don't think that was appropriate. Like, I think in that case, I probably should have taken a Megascope. We had space and time. Like, it was fine. Because we could have played into that pretty easily. But seeing Dettlaff here makes me feel a little bit better about the choice we made, right? Yeah, no, I feel pretty good about that. They played a 4, guarantees long round. We get Melusine up to 17 points, is it? Okay. I mean, that's probably like the best way it would go. I'm happy with that. Because everything that we saved, it can be used pretty well at any time. And seeing a couple more really good cards here being drawn, that's perfect. We know they're not really going to bleed us and go for a 2-0, so it puts us in a pretty good spot. Adarin's nice. Megascope's like a little subpar, but it works with the Bear Witcher if we need it. Or even the Quartermaster. You're running low on self-damage units, you want to get more Blue Boy value, you want to get Cirrus out, you know, you're maybe 2 pings away, perfect opportunity. You miss your Vildkarl because you decided to exhaust leader, the Quartermasters just really save you in that case. But we tuck away Vildkarl because we have the ability to pull him back with the Decree. That's kind of the plan there. There wasn't really any other cards I was really stressing about getting. And I'm deciding here we could probably take Burn around 3. Because we have pretty much everything we need, and now we just need points. Perfect. We draw Cirrus, now we can just tuck it back and not have to worry about it. Counter of 2, perfect discard here. And so here's the thing. I could risk it for the Heat Wave, but it's tough, you know? At least we get Vildkarl. We get everything except for that Heat Wave. So Haunt sticks, but everything else doesn't. And here's like the tricky part. Like, Adarin probably doesn't stay against monsters because of Parasite. But if you're playing into other matchups like Northern Realms, lots of other stuff like that, then you don't have to worry too much. I'm just checking to see if it's the Melusine, and in fact it is. We just lost 17 points, guys. There, Adarin value. So now, Manticore doesn't do anything if that's what they want to play. Maruna is pretty sad if we leave them like that. I think it's appropriate to go ahead and take Blue Boy in a situation like this. Because the biggest problem for us here, I think, is the consumes. Or are the consumes. We kind of want to try and snipe, though. We don't necessarily want to hit. I was going to say the... they just don't want it. This is a trend. Either you get clapped by a deck that just has too much control, or you just do this. So it was kind of one thing or the other. And I'm very transparent about that. Like I said, Skellige matchups are really bad. Bounty's also bad. Like, Bounty Syndicate's bad, but other Syndicate's not too bad. It's just they have so many good bounties, and we have a difficult time removing all their engines for spending. So we got double cross for the last one. This one, like, again, I anticipate this to be more of a challenge too. I'm so tempted to heatwave that you have no idea. I do not want everything that we have to have spying, so I felt like that was probably appropriate here. The fact that they boosted it up to 15 tells me anything off of Joachim's probably not going to be that strong even, so let's just heatwave that. That's a really good take. And I don't want them using my heatwave against me later on, so we might as well just get it out of the deck. And we can just go in with the whole Coral Burna thing next. I don't think Adara needs to be played in this round. It's kind of awkward in that way.
Please, pay no heed to my face.
Oh, I forgot. This is a bonus game. This was played at 2400 MMR, by the way. 2407 at the time. So
I suppose. And the end.
I was doing like finishing the placements for Skellige, or just the minimum games to see any sort of placements. I remember this game. How do you forget this game? This one's for you guys though. This isn't like a serious game apparently. They just must have had like a really bad draw in this game. Seeing Terra Nova go down for nothing, Lydia go down pretty much for nothing. It's it hurts, I feel it, you know.
Just a peek. That is all I need.
So bear in mind, we are on red coin.
Take care of your blades and they'll take care of you.
But why don't train on the cone? I hate it.
So I'm thinking about trying to take a temple pass here, especially because they got such a poor leader. We don't have to worry too much about them getting anything else that's really good. Yeah, too slow. We can definitely pass on that here.
Simply want you to admit it.
If you guys enjoyed the deck, I encourage you to try it out. It's definitely not tier 1, but it's a lot of fun. And like I said earlier, I'm here every single day with a brand new video. We're on the road to 2K subs, and we are so close. We're like 30 or 40 subs away from 2K. So let's bring it in before the new year, guys. I appreciate you all supporting the channel and what I do. And I always look forward to every single day coming to see the regulars in chat. So
Truly electrifying.
I'll be back tomorrow with a good one. I'm already starting to figure out the deck. We might play a little Nilfgaard tomorrow.
Creaky door.
Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.